everybody, this is Movie Versus, podcast in defense of bad movies. This is a prequel episode, so we're going to be doing prequel things. My name is Tyler Lamb.
Exclusively Star Wars prequels.
And that is Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going? And what are your thoughts on Attack of the Clones?
I think Attack of the Clones is the worst of the main story arc.
Wow, whoa. You need to warn us before such a hot take.
That we all probably agree with.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Charlie, who is agreeing with this Attack of the Clones riff, Pixley. Charlie, that's your middle name. That's your nickname. Is Charlie, who is agreeing with this Attack of the Clones riff.
I mean,
Pixley.
I don't know if it's really a nickname, if it just is what
it
is.
Fair enough.
It's kind of incredible that your parents planned that.
Mm.
A
lot of foresight.
Yeah. And a lot of foreskin when you were born. It was just a lot.
Yeah, they had to use a Dremel.
Oh, yeah, they had to get that off medically. Like it wasn't religious or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was medical.
Sealing.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Sealing it in.
Yeah, it was an issue.
Jesus.
On this episode,
I still got it in a jar at home.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll post it on the Facebook.
No, we won't. We'll never do.
You know it's plastic by the crunch.
God. Even if we did have that, I would do everything I could to not get us to post that.
Because you're afraid of content.
I'm afraid of that content.
Steve, you're assigning this episode movies to us, and not only that, but we just saw Deadpool 2, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Try to stay out of the whole spoiler range, just kind of give...
I will not. I will be spoiling everything. I'm joking. I would never do that.
Maybe we will talk spoilers. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see how it feels. If we do, we'll let everybody know. It's even though I guess it's not really a movie that people are... Or it's not like an Infinity War, you know, where you don't want to... It's just another... Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. I think that's pretty much going to be our big media coverage there that we got. Other than that, we have, stuff we like. We have movie news.
Every time I hope that you've forgotten.
I think last time you
keep
didn't
wishing.
say it at all.
I didn't. You gotta let it play it longer.
Just date. And... yeah, neither of you could have picked it up,
No.
when I was... Okay.
I was on the edge of my seat waiting for what you said.
After I had to edit out that, 2 minutes of me just coughing and choking up a lung, pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, Steve, what do you got for us? What's the idea here?
So, the idea is to go back to theaters. And there's not a lot going on that we all haven't seen already, because right now we're in, this weird Marvel Disney pipeline that's occurring right now. So I did my best to find 2 movies. They're both supposed to be comedies, so we'll see how that plays out.
Fuck.
So to spread the love around...
Oh, man. It better not be these 2 that I'm looking at right now.
Tyler, you're getting life at the party.
Okay, good. That's not on the... That's not one of the 2.
Charlie, you're getting show dogs.
That's one of the 2 that I was looking at.
Oh, that's like the talking dogs and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one with Will Arnett. I think I sent you guys a Snapchat of just zooming in on Will Arnett's face on that poster.
Sorry, I of the crappy comedies that are out, I didn't want to get I Feel Pretty / Overboard involved.
And actually, they're not... They're about there's a 10% disparity.
Probably wouldn't have been bad, but I Feel Pretty.
There's about 10% difference on between the 2's Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah.
So that's actually not. That's kind of surprising.
Not too crazy.
Whereas I think Overboard was oh no, Overboard's a little more than I thought it was.
You know what happened the last time I went and saw a movie featuring talking
animals. Yeah. The lead actor got called out for sexual harassment. And
look out, Will Arnett.
Looking at you.
Man, I'm surprised Overboard even got made. That story is pretty problematic.
Oh, no, it's ridiculous.
Right?
They essentially,
fucked up.
She does essentially kidnap a man for 6 months.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny to me because it's almost like they looked at the original one and was like, man, that's fucked up. But if we reversed the oh man, gold mine.
Yeah.
And still I'm sorry, that is still very disturbing.
And I'm legitimately surprised that it's not what's her name? Kate
Blanchett.
No.
Beckinsale.
Upton.
No.
Upton.
Well,
I just said up 10.
I know.
Matthew McConaughey and Kate, what's her name?
McKinnon.
No, the one from fucking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Hudson.
Mm.
Is it Hudson? That doesn't
I
sound
was trying
right.
to think of a different Kate.
Yeah, Kate Hudson. Yeah,
Okay.
that's 10 days. Then Jessica.
Beale.
No,
Alba.
Sex and the City one.
Sarah Parker.
Sarah Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker is in
God, my brain
Failure
is
to
just
Launch.
not. Yeah, my brain is just not working. But can
Hey,
you
guys,
see? Can
wait,
you see? Kate?
Hold on, guys.
Vern.
Failure to launch. Hey, that's like what that movie did, right? It failed to launch.
Got him.
Hey, guys. Unlike Matthew McConaughey's career, which did succeed in launching years after that movie released.
It's true. Despite that film, he is a tour de force.
You know what he always says? Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what he felt about most of his acting career.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's how he won his Oscar.
Yeah.
Wait, did he get an Oscar
Like,
for
that's
Dallas
what I
Buyers
like
Club?
about these shitty movie roles. The checks
Or did
keep
just
clearing.
Jared Leto get it?
Jared Leto got one. I don't know if Matthew McConaughey ever got one.
Or if the Best Picture or anything like that.
Let's check real quick while our listeners scream
Show dogs.
at the. Oh yeah, you're right. He won for Show Dogs.
Can I just watch Best in Show?
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome because
Yeah.
I love Best in Show.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey also won for Dallas Buyers Club, and that would not be awesome because he would clearly win because you
Yes.
love Best in Show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then I would have to see this as Spinal Tap
Okay.
or A Mighty Wind.
I'm okay with both of those.
No, we're not
Actually,
doing that.
no. If we're doing that, it should be A Mighty Wind versus this.
Yeah, because those
Spinal
are the
Tap.
two that are not. Wait, what? This is Spinal Tap is like the one that's just clearly amazing though.
No, but A Mighty Wind and This Is Spinal Tap are both like music mockumentaries.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same. Like it's almost like A Mighty Wind is a parody of a parody in This Is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, fair enough. So Show Dogs and Life of the Party. So does Melissa McCarthy have it in her contract that Maya Rudolph has to be in the movie with her, or like have some type of role?
I think
She's
Maya
like
Rudolph
Rob
is just
Schneider.
Yeah.
Maya Rudolph is just getting to that point where she's just like generic associate of lead at this point.
Which
She's-
sucks because she's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like every single Melissa McCarthy movie I've seen, she's had a role in it.
And she always has like that weird fake, like quasi fake voice that she does where she over enunciates things and like really hits home the end of words for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I just don't know what she actually sounds like, I guess.
But yeah, we watched those trailers. Show Dogs looked
I'm
like a
really
riot.
sorry, Charlie. I'm so sorry. I really wish I had seen anything
need
about that
to-
movie
No,
before I
it's okay.
signed it to
Do we
you.
need to make a rule that you can't walk out of this one?
No, I mean, I won't. I already said I wouldn't do it.
That's
Walk
true.
out of
Fair
another
enough.
one.
Fair enough.
And I was in a movie theater where somebody was getting their dick sucked. And I didn't leave.
To be fair, that's
Why
a
would-
high incentive to stay.
Yeah, I was about to say, why would you leave? Why wouldn't you just move up
I still can't.
closer?
I still can't believe that they did it in that movie.
I'm just more shocked. It's not the movie that it's the fact that they weren't in the back row.
And that it
And
had,
that they
like,
saw him enter.
The
Yeah.
theater was probably a little under half full, so it's still
Oh,
way
wow.
more people.
I thought.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember you saying
That's-
it was like them and you had to walk past them to get to your seat.
That was true. I mean, it was like I did have to walk past them, but there were other people there.
Okay.
Maybe not half full. I don't remember, but there were definitely
Yeah,
enough
if it
people
was-
there where
If it was just them,
shouldn't probably do it.
if it was just them and Charlie, it would have been rude for them to not even say anything to him. Like, hey, do you want to
Yeah.
join in on this? She's
for the
got
guy to
an-
come down and call for a high five.
She's got an extra hand.
Oh Jesus! No,
She's a weird mutant that's out of her side.
Yeah, yeah, because she's
Nope.
using the other two, obviously.
stop it.
So yeah, Show Dogs is a movie that apparently exists.
It looks so
Um,
terrible.
Yeah,
But it does have Fluffy in it, dude.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
He will be the smallest dog possible.
He was
Sure.
credited as Fluffy.
Yeah, when did that start happening?
Or just a dog that they put down because it's too big and can't walk.
I'm seeing Life of the Party. Charlie's seeing Show Dogs.
Is Show Dogs even out yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
out. Yeah,
It came out. I think it came out yesterday.
Yeah, it's opening this
opened
week,
up
and
again.
it's toppling, and its numbers are toppling Deadpool 2. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
It's an
Because
embarrassment.
people are buying tickets to that to get into Deadpool 2 because they're children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess let's just move on from that right away.
Let's just move on with our lives.
So, Deadpool 2. We saw it.
Moments ago.
Yep. Less than an hour ago.
So, guys, what do we think? What do you guys think? Who wants to start with some thoughts and prayers about this movie?
Steve.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I liked it more than the first one.
So Steve, the madman that he is, pulls when the credits start rolling, turns to us and tells us, "I actually already saw this," leaving Charlie and I in
dream
shambles.
I had when I was 10 years old.
Leaving Charlie and I in shambles at the betrayal and just the lack of
The audacity.
Yeah, the audacity.
Well, when I first saw it, I didn't like it as
hope.
much, but that was probably because like the theater that I was in the first time was so excessively cringy.
Do we want to talk about that real quick before we go into full thoughts? I guess I think that maybe this is just a kind of part of the course for a movie like this, opening weekend, but the audience was
almost insufferable?
Like I hope I hope that.
Yeah.
I honestly it's shocking to me at times because it's almost like, wait, people like this actually exist, because they're almost all like caricatures.
Yep.
Oh, God,
of like a.
I mean, people were laughing and stomping so loud that we could not hear like lines after lines.
I mean, and we've repeated this a couple times, but no joke, this lady next to Charlie in the movie theater at one point said, "Oh man, what is he gonna say next?"
Yep.
Like, and they like, "Oh man, what?" Like that is.
Like she's a professional test audience member.
Yes. yeah. That's yes. And I mean, people just screaming with laughter, which I don't know if there's many things ever that have, like, even if I find something really funny, that I have just like yelled out laughter.
Right.
Yeah.
And this movie, I mean, and we'll go into the full thoughts later. Not to go like to disparage it, there is nothing that's that funny in this movie.
Yeah, like I spent most of the time with like a good like half chuckle, like corner grin sort of situation, like a
yeah, this kind of movie, I think the funniest parts are
like
always
knowing nod,
are always kind of like the tiny little things in the background,
sure.
or like maybe even just a tiny little like a little passing joke, like. We all said that Cable has a line late in the movie that about somebody else, and it was just a little.
At the time, because like up until this point, it's pretty out of character. So like when it happens, you're like, oh man, that got me pretty good.
Yeah, it was funny. There's a scene where there's something happen that like Deadpool's kind of walking around chaos of something that all just happened, and in the background, people are trying to resuscitate someone. And for some reason, I found that very funny. Just like these, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the pot shots at DC are just kind of like in poor taste, a little. Just because it's like, guys, like they aren't doing as well and stuff. But like, see, now you're just you just kind of look.
And I think this kind of goes with what I was saying about how like I'm surprised people like this exist, because I see that. Even in the trailer, they have the like, "Oh, you're so dark."
See, I thought the dark one was probably the one that went best, but like the earlier ones where like they're like making fun of plot points and stuff is like come on, like I get that it's not doing well, and these are things that people have talked about.
Yeah,
but like to put it beaten to death.
Yeah, but to put it in your
oh my god.
Yeah, but to put it in your movie is just like in poor taste.
I think it's they're all old jokes at this point, and they're easy. And to me, I'm like, man, like why? Who likes this? Who would want that? But I mean, in that movie theater, these people hear this reference to
It's gonna be the people that don't understand that plot point,
and
anyway.
they're just like, oh man, he mentioned Batman and Superman. Oh, like so it's like, okay, really? I don't know. It's almost like I think a lot of times people are laughing not at the joke but at the reference.
Right. No,
If that
I
makes
get
sense.
You just solved the Big Bang Theory formula.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the joke
That is
isn't
the formula.
The joke isn't what's funny. It's that they're referencing a thing that somebody's like, "Oh man, I know what they're talking about." Ha 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 ha. And especially with Deadpool, since it's like, oh no, he didn't.
What's he gonna say next?
What's he gonna say next? He looked at the camera this time, boys and girls. But that being said, the audience was terrible. It's hard being in a movie theater like that because, and especially because even if they say something funny and I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of funny, I'm making it a point almost to myself to not like laugh out loud because I know that they're going to be continuing.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be more dialogue, and these people seem to have no restraint, with that, because the people in this audience specifically, it's like
I'm sure
once the joke is made, just not hearing lines of the movie, and it's like, well, wait, did he?
I'm sure I missed stuff both times that
Yeah.
that I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, it's almost like it. And I know that there's that effect of like things are funnier when you're in the crowd in the group, which is true.
You get that mob mentality.
Yeah, but a thing that I can think of off the top of my head, like I saw Avengers a lot in theaters, and I don't think I knew what Hulk said after smashing up Loki until I saw it on DVD. Like when at home,
yeah.
Right.
the puny god thing, because every time I saw it,
Just
it was
unhearable.
erupted laughter. Which was something that was funny, but at the same time, like
It's not uproarious.
it's not laugh out loud funny to me. It's just like, oh, like that's cool. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Half smile, chuckle, knowing not.
Now that we so what would you guys rate this audience?
Oh God, the audience. Like I said,
Out of what?
Out of 5 old ladies asking us to scoot down.
There's at
a
least
seat.
one. So 1.
I would probably give it a 2, only because my last audience for this film was significantly worse.
Yeah, there have been worse. So yeah, 2 sounds good.
All right, I'll probably say 1.
That's Tyler, you were in that theater for Boo 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't remember it being
that theater was like a
bad.
fucking cookout.
Yeah, but we also didn't care as much about
Yeah, maybe
that.
that's part of it.
I didn't hear it. I don't fucking care.
I think there was a sandbox in that theater.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, at Boo, it was surprising how many children were just playing.
Like,
I'm just really
It was
glad
like
that
feral children just like, I just like sprint down this aisle.
Charlie, I don't know if I told you, if I mentioned this to you when you got there. When I first sat down the row from me, there was a woman with a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I was just one of those things where they're like kind of sitting, playing, waiting, and I was just like, are you in the right theater?
For Boo or for Deadpool 2?
For Deadpool 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
It
pretty bad.
is gory.
It was pretty, yeah. And you see a dick in it for a little bit.
I don't remember.
When he's doing the Sharon Stone thing.
Oh, I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, you see a tip. That's why everybody freaked
Gotcha.
out like they did.
Yeah.
I thought that
Which is another moment,
like
like,
basic instinct.
People
No,
like
and
shouting and
you might
and
not
like,
have heard that T.J. Miller actually says he basic instinct him, but you couldn't hear
Yeah, I
it
couldn't hear it at
because
all.
it was just so loud.
Yeah, shock of seeing a penis. But
These people shouldn't watch fucking Watchmen.
But I did yeah. But I did point out to Charlie that I think that they edited that because I bet you in the original cut, and if they come out with a director's an uncut version, you're gonna see that whole him crossing his legs, because the way that it was cut when he was moving his legs was kind of weird to me, and I was like, oh, that seemed kind of jumpy, where it just cut away right when Dick was about pretty much starting to appear, and then cut back when it was all gone.
From what you were able to see, was there bush?
I could not see if there was any bush.
It was dark.
I just saw
in the
tip.
nethers.
Just saw tip. And
What was throwing me off was in the very beginning they're talking it they're like, oh my god, cover up, and I was like, is there dick there that I can't see?
Yeah.
At the very beginning, because they're so disgusted.
Yeah. I know that there was a point near the beginning of the movie where maybe 10, 15 minutes in where we all kind of laughed at something, and Charlie said that's kind of telling that it took this long for a joke to happen in the movie that we all actually laughed at.
I can't remember what
I don't remember what
it
it was either, but I just remember that moment of like, oh man, I hope this isn't. It's almost like the beginning of Thor, you know, where it's like, I hope this isn't, you know, an indication of how this movie's going to go. That all being said, we complained about all that. I think that, and I went into this movie thinking that I was not going to like it at all, based on bad and good reviews that I read. I think I told you both that. But I think I'm in the mindset right now. Obviously, you know, the fresh thing, it needs to take a while probably to like sit for me to get a real opinion. But I think that I might have liked this better than the first one. Because like I said before to you guys off, Mike, that I think that it was a bigger deal what they were doing, but it still seemed smaller scale. And for some reason I liked that because, you know, sometimes
it felt like you could just see it better. Like you just knew what was going on more.
And sometimes like all these superhero movies are such large scale that it gets tiring. And I know that they've started to kind of change that. Like Black Panther wasn't as, you know, well, that's not true, I guess. Fuck. Yeah, they're all like, yeah, this is gonna fuck up the rest of the world, like right now, if you know, and yeah, that's kind of the underlying thing, like that shit's gonna be fucked in the future, but it's still not. It doesn't really feel like that.
Yeah,
if that makes like that's what it is, but it doesn't feel that way.
The immediate ramifications don't feel as big.
Yeah, which I liked. I think that there were some bits that were better than bits in the first movie. I think they were maybe stronger. Like the whole X-Force stuff, other than Pete, was stronger than. Even though I did laugh when he first showed up and they showed like his actual like
headshot.
IMDb headshot. Yeah, and he was like, "Am I getting catfished? Like, what's going on here?" Because he's gained some weight obviously since that headshot was taken.
Well, and they definitely like dressed him as a middle-aged father.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want. I mean, I've been talking.
And Domino was a fantastic.
Yeah, Domino was great.
I was hoping they would have put in a Gideon joke or something. That third character on New Mutants '98, where it's like now Domino, Deadpool, and Gideon.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where it was the introduction of 3 people. There was
at least I think it was introduction of Gideon as well. But
there was definitely another character that was introduced that is like. I have no idea who it is.
The Shatterstar guy or what?
No, I'm saying in that New Mutants
gotcha.
issue, there's definitely a third character that I have no idea who it is. What did you guys think?
I felt like it was. I think about the same as it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I mean, sure, there were parts that were totally unfunny, parts that I thought were really funny, and it was good. But I'm not like writing home about it or anything.
Yeah,
I liked it, but I think I may slightly like the first one a little bit more.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of stuff that I like more in this one, but I think the first one just flows a little bit better.
Fair enough.
I can see that.
I can as well because there are a couple moments where it's almost just like okay, now everybody's here now.
Yeah, it's just like hard smash cuts.
Yeah, and there were a couple moments too where I was really confused why they didn't just kill not Deadpool, Cable. Like after the whole car sequence, and they're all like
and they just
laying
like
there.
they leave.
They just leave. And it shows that he was just laying there.
Yeah.
Like he was. So yeah, I was like, okay, wait, this motherfucker was.
I guess you could say they thought he was dead, but
and
that's weak.
I mean, also at that time, Deadpool was not in like a good place.
Yeah,
so
but,
that might have been a reason.
Maybe.
I did really like his first fight with Cable and how he was, I guess, very creative in the fight. That sort of thing. Like I thought that was really funny.
Sure.
So I think the more
What do you mean creative?
Like with his body?
Yeah. I'll explain it later.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't
want to straight
remember.
up spoil.
Yeah.
Spoilers for some visual gags.
This is what he does. Oh yeah. Okay. I remember that. Yeah, that was pretty.
I just mimed it. For anybody
that wasn't, and that was a moment that was like it was kind of funny, but it was also more like, oh hey, that's actually
cool.
And I think that's like one of the cool things about like Deadpool and that character is that even when he doesn't have his powers and stuff, he's part of his power is that he's just built up resilience to pain because he just takes it. So like he just does things with his body to try and figure stuff out. Yeah. And he like sacrifices things on the go because he just doesn't bother him anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a real interesting like part of a character that's hard to explore as like a writer because you physically can't do that ever.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool thing to like look at.
I'd say if you like the first one, check out the second one.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, I don't know if this is one that I am like. I mean, I did enjoy myself, but I don't think it's something that I'm going to tell people they need to go see. Which was probably the same with the first one. The first one, everybody was head over heels about it, but I felt like, I mean, I liked it, but like you said with this, there are things that work, that are funny. There are things that do not work. That I mean are like bury my head in my hand.
I'm mostly confused how that kid got like a shorts version of the jumpsuit. It was like shorts and long sleeves.
The New Zealand kid?
Yeah, like his jumpsuit in prison ended at the knee.
Oh, yeah,
he had a baggy short jumpsuit where everybody else had like full length pants.
Yeah, the kid was all right. Is a movie that stars Mark Ruffalo, right? The kids are all right.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So moving on. No.
Okay.
We need to talk about Kevin.
Was that the character's name?
No, that's just another movie.
Yeah, I know, but it would have worked so well if it was actually.
I haven't seen that movie, but I know slightly what it's about.
The kid did good for the most part. I do want to see that other movie, the Taika Waititi movie that he was in, Hunt for the Wilder People. Mm. And I heard he's pretty awesome at that. And that, I mean, again, with the New Zealand accents, it's just
silly.
Yeah, sometimes, I don't know.
Between people being loud and just, like, his accent, it was just sometimes hard to hear what he was saying.
That's true. And also, it doesn't help that New Zealanders' accents, like, some of the, like, if a word has an E in it, it's almost pronounced like it's an I. Like, dead sounds like did.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like,
friend.
Yeah, stuff like
Not
that.
your friend.
He's gonna, sorry if we're offending any New Zealand listeners out there. I feel like we might have one or two. I don't remember.
It's possible that one of you exists.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sure you're lovely people.
I was gonna just say a name, but I don't know like a common New Zealand name.
I mean, I feel like it's just
Russell.
Yeah.
Russell was the name of this.
Yeah, that's
character,
true.
so
Russell was the character's name. There you go.
Yeah, I've only proceeded to offend them more.
But yeah, that it was good. So out of what?
It's just funny, like a movie like this, you can so easily, and I say you generically speaking, or
because
generally
you think
speaking,
I'm a generic person.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, man, this part sucked. It's like it was good, like because that's just how it is. Like, there's so many parts that really are just eye roll, but it's still all right. It's still good.
And like I said, part of that is just because like. You would probably think it was okay, but then the audience reaction, you're just like, Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah. That's
like, it's funny, but it's not, we don't need to do this.
And there were a lot of points during the movie where, I don't know if you guys do this, but when you're watching a movie, you kind of think of like, how am I liking this so far?
Yeah.
And there were points where I was like, okay, how am I feeling about this so far? Because, you haven't been, roarous laughter. And I thought to myself, it almost just kind of felt like a movie. Like I'm just watching a movie. There's nothing really like I'm not my experience isn't any more or less than I mean it ended up being more than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but
Out of the Shadows or regular? Okay,
both pretty much. Yeah, I mean they're so I don't know. Have you saw Out of the Shadows?
Yeah, we all saw it together.
But when we saw the first one, I think that it was us two, Charlie and me and one of our other friends, and we might have driven in silence for like 10 minutes before one of us just said, I'm having trouble remembering like what we even just watched. And we were all like, yeah, fuck, like what even happened in that movie? It wasn't bad, it wasn't good.
Boring.
It was just so like here are images moving at 22 FPS, right, or something like that.
It'd be more entertaining if they really would have done the Michael Bay Alien Ninja Turtle thing. That was always a big rumor.
Just let Michael Bay get crazy.
Yeah.
Just let Michael Bay direct it instead. Yeah. And write it. And star in it. But it was, I mean, coming out of it, though, I think I did enjoy myself to say that I liked it, and it was a good movie. But and we're going to see more of these. I mean, if they can keep the quality like
it's definitely hard for especially this kind of movie because they lean so hard on like the fourth wall break that like it's just hard to keep that not just the same, you know, like that sort of thing just kind of comes off as a very similar aspect over and over and over again.
And something that I was kind of afraid of that I'm glad didn't happen was I thought that it was going to be more meta.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, more him looking at the camera and saying things than it was in the first one, but it wasn't, which I was glad, I was happy about that. Because there's one joke in the first one that when I saw it, I think I might have seen it twice or something, because I was working in a movie theater at the time, and there's a joke where he's talking to the camera in a flashback or something like that, and he's like, how many walls? That's like 5 walls and I don't think that that's funny at all. I don't get it, maybe. Because if
I don't remember.
Or he says like it's like 6 walls when he's breaking the 4th wall in a flashback, but I didn't get what the extra wall was. Is it because it's a flashback?
Well, I guess because one is already being done if he is addressing the fact that a flashback is going on and then addresses the audience during a flashback. I would have to see it again.
Like it was one of those where people laughed enough at it that I was like, I'm just not getting this.
Yeah,
which could be 100% true. I could not be getting this joke.
And I don't know, because like Charlie said, if it's a flashback within, like if it's a flashback within a flashback, so like if he's starting at native state, and then they go into one flashback and they go into another flashback. That first flashback has 4th walls, and then the 4th wall of that flashback is the 5th wall, and then the 4th wall of that flashback is the 6th wall.
He does say he says something like 18 walls, so maybe it's 4 walls per thing. I think it's a double-digit number. I don't know. We can go more into deciphering this
on
because
our new podcast.
Just so what I was going to say when we're off air, just so because I mean the only way to make a joke really funny is if you know exactly what's going on. You're told by somebody else.
Yeah.
So I would really
good jokes need to be explained.
Yeah. So I would really like to know.
That's how I watch Rick and Morty. I have to wait for it to come out.
Dude, I wish
someone to break it down scene by scene for me.
Yeah.
And then I just watch the episode with that breakdown.
The notes next
commentary.
It's like pop-up video. It just pops up with a little thing and it says, "You see here, he's referencing Marxist ideals."
Wow.
So if you were already, I mean, this isn't going to stop you from seeing it or not. If you were already planning to see it, if you liked the first one, go ahead. I mean, if you loved the first one, then you should have already seen this, and you'll probably have a blast.
I would say so.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
If you really like it and haven't seen it, feel free to give it a little time to breathe so that you can enjoy the experience.
Yeah, maybe do that. Yeah, that's honestly.
Honestly, I think the only problem is the audience.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
Because I think the movie starts with like a Wolverine reference, and that started out. I think you heard there was knee slapping and stomping in my theater the first time I saw it for like the entire I couldn't hear anything. The one
this
this might be a like shit reference that nobody understands, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. It started with like the reaction of when Jerry Seinfeld sees the homeless people wearing the pirate shirts, and that audience member goes, "Oh my god!" Like right before all the, do you know what I'm talking about?
So.
I can play it to you guys.
I know.
Look it up if you haven't, because it's like when he sets down this thing that has Wolverine on it. It was pretty much comparable to that of like audience members laughing in a way that's like, "Oh no, he did it!" Oh.
And then they put a little cherry on top of it, and people lose their shit.
Yeah, and. And meanwhile, us 3+ landlord Kevin are just kind of sitting there like
this is. I mean, it's
not
funny.
a bad visual gag.
No, it's not. But it's not lose your fucking mind because this. I mean, already because the character's established, that he's gonna reference these
real
things.
Yeah,
Like,
and you know for a fact he's going to go hard on Wolverine. Like, Wolverine is like the joke of that they did in the first one.
Yeah, exactly. And in the first one, they had the funny gag of him pulling off his mask and having the stapled Hugh Jackman piece of which is a good one.
And then at the very beginning, when he referenced Hugh Jackman and like talked in an Australian accent and like said like who he had to like fuck to get a movie to happen, like it was all funny and like. I don't want to say subtle because it definitely wasn't subtle.
Oh no, subtlety. I don't think Deadpool knows what subtlety.
But it wasn't. It didn't feel so try hard as sometimes it felt in this one.
Fucking try hard.
Like trying to say Deadpool did something subtle is like saying Kim Jong did something subtle. Like the most like over the top people ever in their respective. So yeah, what would we rate this out of?
Out of what?
Charred teddy bears.
How many? 4 or 5?
5, I guess. What would you? Charred teddy bears sound good? You guys have something better?
I'm fine.
Middle fingers on a severed arm. I don't know.
3 maybe.
3. Steve, what would you give it?
I'd probably do 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah, I'm leaning. I think I'm gonna go 3.5. You know what? I'm gonna go 3.175 on this one.
I'm gonna stick with 3.5 because 4 feels a little too like good.
Yeah, I would.
I'm trying to keep my scale consistent. Yeah, 3 is like okay.
Yeah, middle of the road. I put it a little bit above middle of the road just because comedies can be hard to make, and obviously.
Yeah, but suck.
But I also feel like comedies are also like the easiest to forgive.
Yeah,
that's true.
Easy
Fair
to
enough.
please. Like, it was just a comedy. It was good.
Yeah. You know what? I might go back down to 3 because
1.
If I'm thinking,
it was a piece of shit.
If I'm thinking about it, I probably enjoyed myself just about as much as I did at Blockers, and I would say that was probably I would give that a 3 if you were to ask me right now. 3.
I actually think I might have enjoyed that more.
Fair.
I don't know though.
I would give it 3 hotel rooms out of 5.
Yeah.
There must be 10 hotel rooms in here.
So, yeah, I guess we'll just move into movie news.
Okay.
Go for it, Steve.
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Rashida Jones.
Well, Steve, just because you wrote it down doesn't automatically make it news. You had to have gotten it from an actual news source.
I did get it from somewhere.
So you wrote it down on a flashcard.
Well, I had it. Because I had it available, and I was like, I need to write this down because I will definitely forget some part of it. But Rashida Jones and Will McCormick were working on the script for Toy Story 4.
Yes.
They have recently parted ways with Pixar. Apparently, Rashida Jones has said that they don't respect like females and minorities as much, and it's mostly like they just don't give them creative control. Like whereas like white males, they like let them do whatever they want, but like they get a little like micromanagey on females and minorities is basically what it sounds like they're doing.
Okay.
And they said that apparently this happened. Once before with a woman who was going to be directing Brave, but she parted ways, citing creative differences as well, and so that's kind of a thing that's going on. She did say that she still supports and like loves what Pixar does. They just need to kind of
figure out
like be able to step back a little bit when someone else comes in.
Yeah,
is all they're really needing to do.
And I guess try to be more aware because I'm assuming that they're doing this not intentionally.
No,
it's something that
it's probably just like the guy who was doing kind of doing like creative head at Pixar is just having a hard time like not being in charge.
Yeah,
and he just needs to like learn how to like manage the like there. Rashida Jones, she's got an excellent body of work. Like she does. Damn it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why'd you add work to
that? God damn it, Tyler. No, but like she does a lot of stuff, and
I really did think that that's what you were.
No.
When you said work, I was kind of like, oh, okay, because you were. I thought you were hard stopping after body, and I was like, Steve, what does this have to do with anything?
No, like Rashida Jones she's a funny actress. She's done some writing,
definitely,
and I would be interested to see what she puts out for a Toy Story 4.
She's definitely
script.
probably. I mean, out of her family, I bet she's the most successful person. In her family, I'm sure they're proud of her because of how successful she's been.
It's true.
Her parents, especially. I mean, who even are they?
Indiana.
Anyway.
And Tom.
Anyway, so they've parted ways. Like I said, she wishes them well. They're still working on it. I'm sure they'll do a good job with the Toy Story 4 script. I do hope that sometimes they kind of open things up and let some people take some cracks at stuff, because they're known for good work, and I'm sure they'll be able to put out.
To me, it doesn't sound like open up and let people just be more aware of what the fuck you're doing. If that makes sense, because it seems like the good people, the people you hire, do what you hire they're
them.
fine hiring these people, but they need to be more aware of how they're dealing with these people that they're hiring.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's the case where you've got two people that have had a similar experience where they feel like they have been being treated differently, in the creative process as opposed to their counterparts, then I think that's more of a, hey, realize what you're doing. Like,
yeah. And that was kind of what she was doing. She was like, I'm stepping away because I'm trying to send a message and give them a way to think about it in the future.
I would just be curious, because it's kind of a tough balance, I imagine, for a company like that, where it's like you do want to protect the brand too and make sure that somebody doesn't come in and be like, I have a great script and it could be great, but if it's something that's like, okay, we don't really want the characters portrayed like this, not that I think Rashida Jones would do anything like that,
Right.
Hold on.
Andy becomes addicted to heroin.
I was just about to say, we got to stop and say what we were going to do.
But just, something like that, so it's kind of hard, because you do.
Yeah, she actually brought them just the script for Sausage Party.
I was going to say it becomes like a Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah. Like with Marvel, in a similar way. Like, they can bring on a director, and then if they just totally tie their hands, it's like you might as well have not even had a fucking director for it. Yeah. Just write the script and shoot the scenes.
Like what happened with Edgar Wright.
Yeah. But so I understand to some degree then not having somebody where you'll read the occasional story where it's a director that it's like, well, I wanted to take the character in this direction. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it's just interesting.
And
it's
honestly,
that'd be tough to kind of draw the line.
It's all around. It's tough to draw the line, because on the other side of the spectrum, what we saw was something like Suicide Squad. When we were told, and David Ayer said that he was given so much freedom.
Although I guess we found out that was bullshit at the end.
Did we? I thought he still said that the cut was his cut.
But then it's like it was the cut. But
it was the cut that
was allowed.
Was it his cut of what was what he was able to shoot?
Yeah, but then that's I think maybe he even shot it like he wanted to, but then it came back where they wanted it changed in editing. So that's still on that spectrum in a way where they're like, do what you want. He's given so much freedom, and then they're like, wait, no.
Yeah.
We didn't know that's what you wanted.
Yeah, insert DC movie title.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope that turns out
gets
better.
Figured out.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's not something that is.
And it's nice that it's not so overly toxic that
it doesn't sound venomous or anything. Fuck
Pixar. Yeah.
I hope Toy Story 4 fails.
Well, and it sounds, in the way she says it, it sounds like she wasn't. Nobody was toxic towards her. It was just, in the process, she felt
stymied.
Yeah, she felt, looked down upon. And, yeah, that's a nice word. All right, so, Charlie, what do you got?
My thing is that, okay, for real this time, you guys, my movie news is that Gambit might actually start filming at the end of this summer, dude. For real this time.
Wait, is it's still with Channing Tatum?
Yeah, it's going to be a double release with Avatar 2. So you can,
because they're on the same production schedule.
Yeah, Ken Burge said that they have a script and that Channing loves it,
and that they filmed underwater scenes.
Yeah, and they have a new card filming technology that's been developed.
It's going to get pushed back to Avatar 3.
Yeah, so that's my news, is that it might actually start filming at the end of the summer. Which, if this is an interview taken in May, they're like, yeah, we got the script and we might start shooting at the end of summer. That's not a good fucking sign for a movie this size.
Uh-huh.
But whatever.
It's all because, it's because Taylor Kitsch is out of the picture.
Yeah. And they're really having trouble getting a hold of Will.i.am. So.
So my news is more of, I couldn't really find one that that I liked, that I thought was interesting. I just found that a lot of things about this to be funny, like the article title and who posted the article. So the title, the headline is Jennifer Aniston will play a lesbian U.S. president in Netflix film.
Sweet.
That sentence just keeps going.
Yeah, exactly, which I thought was kind of funny. And then I looked at who posted the article, and it's the Lad Bible.
I thought you were going to say Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, she made a Facebook update.
Jennifer Aniston will play a lesbian, and then in parentheses the hang ten symbol.
Yeah.
President of the United States.
And then like a puff of smoke and
yeah.
I just think that's a lesbian U.S. president, because it's, I don't know, in my mind, first off, I'm like, why does that matter? I mean, I guess that representation, whatever, but like, what are they doing in the movie to make it like a point that?
Hopefully, there's a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and it's like
the day to day.
I imagine the pitch is like, guys, I got it, lesbian U.S. president.
Well,
sold.
I mean, if it's like every other thing like that, she is not publicly a lesbian, and it will come out at approximately the 30-minute mark. Wait, no,
and
it's
authorities being challenged.
It's a Netflix movie, so it'd have to be at the 20-minute mark because 30 minutes is halfway over.
So, from that, what do we actually like, boys?
Boys? Is that we starting with me again?
I can go first this time.
Oh yeah, Charlie, get in there.
So what I like is that recently one of the people that works for Universal posted a picture on Instagram talking about, hey guys, still working on the Dark Universe.
With who? Like just on his own?
He's crocheting a Dark Universe.
My checks haven't been cleared for some time, but I'm a company man, so
I'm sure that they're just getting lost in the mail and they're sending me checks still. But
who is this? Pepe Silvia?
Robert Vargas. That's probably Vargas from Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. And that Pepe Silvia, I got the reference. Yeah.
I know you did.
No, it's just people working on, I don't know, pre-production and everything, because I guess the next one is still supposed to be Bride of Frankenstein, but
okay.
I feel I would be so surprised if they still got Angelina Jolie to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could still, like, I guess, kind of like quietly build the Dark Universe.
Just call each one the first one until one of them works.
What do you like about this? Hey, yeah, the game will forever be on.
No, like, or just, you know, like, okay, we're coming out with a Bride of Frankenstein and just kind of link them to the Dark Universe, but just don't be so aggressively advertising the Dark Universe if it's not going.
Werewolf skull.
I really wish that and they didn't back up from it, and they also included an after credits scene in The Mummy that was on par with the game is on after credits scene in Dracula Untold, just so that like every single one would fail, and like they would keep trying to start up the Dark Universe, and there would always be something like that. Like they say something like that.
The game is afoot.
Yeah, now the fun begins. Like stuff like that, just every single movie.
So what I like is that I'll get more sweet stories like that, and then also that it's just kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, so.
I guess I'll. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta think real quick because I feel like I just forgot what I actually liked.
Well, Steve, you could go in the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I could. It just came out on Friday, and I made the point of it to watch all of it before today, just in case. I watched all of the newest season of 13 Reasons Why.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the first one, but that's because the first one had like a very succinct story to tell. And it was, you know, based off a book. So this one's a little bit more meandering because they're kind of trying to build off of it.
And it's subtitled The 14th Reason, right?
No, not at all.
13 Reasons, the 14th reason.
But it is interesting because it's kind of like what happens to this area in the wake of, like, this whole thing happening.
Now, does it get really Saw-y in that, like, wax-covered tapes keep appearing from this dead girl and
No.
just keep like, more and more messages?
The main character Clay, he starts getting Polaroids and begins to realize that Hannah wasn't the only girl that like stuff like this was happening to, and that he's got to uncover this whole
bully ring.
it's not really a bully ring, but it's just kind of like a
and make it to biology by 8 a.m.
like just a not
really
talked about.
He
sort
really
of,
does do it all.
but just like a not talked about sort of I guess atmosphere of
Sure.
The second season sounds a little less problematic, but I will go on record and say fuck that show as far as the first season is concerned.
Why?
I think that it just glorifies suicide.
I don't think it glorifies.
Hey guys, if you kill yourself, you're right. Everybody's gonna feel bad that you're finally that you're gone, and they're gonna be remorseful. And you were right.
When they showed the suicide, it didn't feel glamorous to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just
I meant the idea of committing suicide.
No, I know what you mean.
Not like she's bedazzled the rope or something that she hang herself on.
No, I know what you mean, but like. I don't know. I understand where you're coming from, but I also see it from like the point that like don't commit suicide because this is what happens.
Let's say this. I think that it's very.
Up a lot of
I think that it's very problematic.
I think there are pluses and minuses to
I
both
do
sides.
agree that I understand what the point that they maybe were trying to make is, but I also think that there is the side that can be it can be misconstrued.
And I definitely it also might be a thing that like I'm kind of pretty far removed from that culture now.
Yeah.
Like maybe if I was in high school,
what are you talking about? I thought you hang out by the high school all the time.
No. No, I do not. I mean, but like I'm a lot older and I don't. Like if I had watched this in high school, I don't know how it would have affected me differently. You know,
you would have stopped bullying all those
people.
The
50-foot golden statue they made of the girl afterwards, though, was a bit much.
Yeah, with the plaque reading "We're sorry." You were right.
I mean,
I've heard good things about the show. I mean. So anyway, the second one, you're done with it. Done with it.
I'm done with it already. It's interesting to see like where it goes and how hard it is to try and fight the system.
Sure.
And that's a big part of it is like.
And still get to class on time.
Yes, and still get to class on time. But because the main character Clay, he's doing all these things to try and and make the people who, like the one guy who he considers...
Seeing him with like a backpack in high school.
Hello, fellow students.
Anyway.
But like him doing whatever he can to try and get the person that, even though it's the person he considers the most responsible, it's also the person who is... He's like the worst person there, like, and he needs to be stopped. Like, he's trying to figure out a way to get him to stop, to get him to realize, like, he needs to stop and that sort of thing.
And just bully him.
And just nothing he does seems to work. Like, every legal, legitimate avenue he goes down just seems to hit a dead end. And every time he tries to do anything, it just gets shut down.
Yeah.
And the
dead end, Steve.
Yes.
Wow.
And just
insensitive.
And just the frustration he's going through while he's trying to actually get someone who needs to have legal recourse taken upon them.
It's a tricky situation. It's not illegal to make fun of somebody. I mean, it's not nice, but...
Your Rotten Tomatoes review would be, this season was dead on arrival.
So it picks up. Never mind.
But yeah, I thought it was, if you enjoyed the first season, you should at least check it out. You may not keep going after this one, but...
I'm guessing they're making more.
They leave it off in a way that they could make more.
Would you watch more?
I would watch more.
You've watched 2 seasons.
I would watch more because I'm kind of a completionist in that sort of aspect.
Sure.
And there definitely is something that they like. The problem is with this season is the really good, interesting stuff kind of doesn't really hit its stride till much later in the season.
Gotcha.
So like the beginning's really slow because whereas the first one, each episode is a single tape.
Yeah.
In this one, each episode is kind of like an overarching narrative that one of the people in court testifying is kind of going through.
Sure.
So like they kind of like their testimony kind of narrates through the episode.
Okay.
All right, so something that I actually like is Dungeons and Dragons. I told you guys that I just did my first. I was a part of my first campaign. Started Friday, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And if you ever have any questions about what you want to do with your character, I will help you out. If you ever need.
It's fun being. It's
Thank you, Steve.
it's always a you don't want to be overtly goofy with things going on, because you still want to like play. Because
and with you, you're in a group that you don't necessarily know all that well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to make those calls.
Exactly. Yeah. Group I'm in. It's a very interesting way we met. We all got together via a Patreon exclusive Facebook group for a different podcast, and that's how we
how you normally meet
the real meet cute of us all. And multiple different time zones, so getting it together was hard enough. But the goofy thing, like I feel like sometimes that might be. There's a line that you have to walk because you might be kind of maybe offending the DM in a way, because this guy made this whole thing up and had this idea in mind of what to do. Like sure. he's a seasoned DM, he's done it before, so he knows. You never know.
It's gonna go off the rails.
You never know what the fuck they're gonna do, what's gonna happen. But yeah, I feel like there's that line where like you don't want to just insult the guy and what he's had planned, things like that. But it was still a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back into it and do it again. It's one of those things that we stopped at a moment that was a good stopping point, but still like we're on the precipice of like something pretty, like we're about to do something crazy, and it's like, oh shit, is this gonna work? Like what the fuck is going on? So yeah, if you have never played Dungeons and Dragons, I would say try to get it together. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
And it's definitely really fun if you're doing it with like people Like it can be kind of rough because sometimes it kind of devolves into like friends hanging out.
Yeah.
But also like it's really fun when you know the people and you don't.
And I think that there were a lot of new people playing, like nobody had played before, and so I would say if you're a newcomer and you're wanting to try, I think it's important to keep in mind that you are in control of doing what you want pretty much, because at the start, I think I told you guys at the start of this, it's like the guy had us figure out why we were at a certain place, and then we were all there and at the beginning of the story, and he obviously wrote this beginning of what how the journey starts, and that whole thing kind of happens, and we were supposed to interact with this character, but it was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is the setup, and then there was just kind of silence for a while without anybody really like, okay, well, what do I do now?
Sure.
And so,
And if you're listening and you're a previous D&D player and you have some experience and you're playing with newer players, I had a problem with this in a group that I play with. It's hard sometimes to not backseat game for people. Like, it's sometimes just relax, let them do whatever it is they're gonna do, even if you think it's a bad idea, just let it happen. Like, don't try to micromanage your entire fucking group. Yeah. It'll make it not fun for them. It'll make it not fun for you. Just try to have a good time with your friends.
And I kind of came across that a little bit because there were parts where, because I was kind of, just because I had kind of done it before, or I knew the gist, I was the one that was kind of taking the lead, especially at the beginning.
And there's definitely a difference between like trying to move things forward and trying to like organize everyone and get them going.
Exactly.
And like basically playing six characters at once.
Yeah, there were parts where I would say a thing and I would be like, do we all agree on that? Like, do we? And that would, obviously, birth a conversation of actually like, well, actually, I think we should do this. And then we would, and so, yeah. But yeah, if I was just like, hey, yeah, you do this, you do that, and we're good.
Yeah. It's hard to not do that sometimes, especially when you've played more and like you kind of know the nuances of stuff. But sometimes it's fun to just let someone go and just let them see where they go, and then you just kind of riff off that.
And if they love you, they'll come back.
Or at least if you're playing, like, as you get to know these people better, like their play styles too, I think then it's okay to, if you want to try and take the leader role and be like, no, you do this, because then they can always just go, nope, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, because you could be like, hey, don't you have this, spell or thing? Yeah. You should try this, and then they could still be like,
yeah, I do, but no.
I think it's better if I do this. But yeah, so that all being said, I am seeing Life of the Party. Charlie's seeing Show Dogs.
I'm so sorry, Charlie.
And we will be back next week. Go check us out on Facebook and Gmail and all that stuff. Bye.